What's up, everybody? Coach Sarge here. Super excited to present episode 7 of TNP Hockey. Just to give you a little insight on what's going on with everybody and everything. First off, thank you for all the support and continue to like, subscribe, all that fun jazz. I don't know how this thing works, but I know that the more that you hit those cool buttons, the more it helps us continue to build and grow this thing. Just a couple of updates. So Ivan, super sick story. He had his first call up to Utica in the AHL, and so got to play in his first game. Did awesome. Was a +1, and then they ended up winning in OT. Super fun game to watch. But based on roster moves, people coming down from the NHL, he is back in the Adirondack. Garrett is getting back on the ice. So he's been rehabbing his shoulder for forever. And, been getting a lot of questions. Oh, hey, what's he doing? How's he feeling? And that's what he's got going on right now is he's starting to get back on the ice. He's starting to do more strength training after he tore his labrum and got surgery back in early September. So excited. It's a huge step and a lot of progress for him. A couple more updates. So we just completed putting out our camp that we're going to do the end of June. I think it's going to start the 27th till July 1st. That'll be, Nic Belpedio, who is going to be on this episode, is going to help us out. Myself, Ivan, Garrett, we're all going to be helping out. It's going to be a full day camp where we're going to work on stick handling, shooting, passing, battling, one-on-ones, really help take people's games to the next level, and really focus on the details. And so we want to focus on Pee-wees and above, but all of that information you can find online. And if you want to register, go to our website. You can find it there. Other than that, the next thing that we have built out and are working through now, as well as for this summer and spring, we are building a midget and high school showcase team to help players find different paths for juniors, college, whatever their next step might be. And so again, we'll put on a lot of different events, go to showcases, tournaments, different things like that. And so if you're interested in being a part of that group, feel free to go to the website. Everything's on the website, and you can submit your info to become a part of the group, and we'll continue to keep you updated from that standpoint. Other than that, this episode with Nick was awesome. Really cool dude. I'm glad he took time out of his vacation in Florida to come do this. So I hope you enjoy it. And yeah. All right. Hey, recording's in progress. Let's go. Big energy.
Let's get after
it. What's up, everybody? Episode 7. Wow. Episode 7, TNP Hockey. Doing this podcast thing. It's pretty funny, like how it started. And I'll tell you a quick story too, Nick. Like, kind of had the idea, like listening to a lot of podcasts, right? Like a lot of popular ones. They're spitting chicklets, all that stuff. And really, I'm not a super technical guy. And I was like, whatever. Like, this is something I want to try to do, and I'll figure it out. And so that's kind of what I did. And now we're already on episode 7. So if for anybody listening, right, like if you ever have an idea that you're thinking about or something that you want to try to do, like, don't worry about what anybody else thinks and just try to get after it, and just kind of start doing what you want to do. So just to introduce our next guest, I'm super pumped. Met you over last summer, and just the biggest beauty on a pair of skates, helping coach. And so Nic Belpedio, it's awesome to have you. So a little bit of background. Right? This kid grew up in Skokie. If you don't know where Skokie is and you're not from Illinois, it's just a nice, beautiful little neighborhood just north of Chicago. And that's where all the beauties live. So it makes sense that you're from there. Yep. And so welcome to the podcast. How's it going? You're not in Illinois, right? You're somewhere more sunny.
I'm down in Marco Island for a couple of days here before heading back to Chicago for Christmas. Got 10 days off. So it's been nice, 75, can't complain.
There you go. That's awesome. Is your family down there too, or is your family here?
Yeah, my mom and dad are both here with me, and then one of my best friends came down for a couple days. So it's been a lot of fun. Went fishing, caught a couple big ones. So it's
There
been
you
nice.
go. Yeah, I think you made it sent me a picture, and I'll throw it up just so everybody can see how big of a beauty that one of those catches was. Was that you or was that your dad?
My dad got one, and I got one too. They're both Goliath groupers, so
There you go.
but mine might have been like 50 pounds. My dad had like 90 pounder, and they get up to 500. So they're little
Yeah.
babies, but pretty strong fish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a pretty strong guy, right? Like that's kind of like what you dumbbell curls 500 or what?
Yeah, yeah, at least
Yeah.
500, if not
There
more.
you go. Nice. And who's your buddy with you? Let's give him a little shout out. I know who it is, but
Joey Carollo, he left because he had to go back for Christmas, but he plays at UNLV. We just became good buddies. Our parents work together, so
there you go. Nice. Just living the dream. Probably in Las Vegas, like that has a crazy time. I'm sure he's having a blast there going to school. Probably not as much schooling, but a little bit more hockey and they having fun, I assume. But
yeah, I think
um,
so.
yeah. So yeah, again, appreciate you coming on here. I'm super pumped, and you and I had been texting back and forth about this a little bit, and uh, as soon as like you were like, let's do it, I was like, effing rights, pal. Let's get after it. So
Yeah.
just to like kind of go all the way back, right? Just to when you were growing up. How did you get into hockey? What was your family life like? Let's start there.
Well, my brother obviously played. He started with Skokie Flyers. My dad also played. He played high school in Illinois growing up, so kind of just got thrown into the mix. Really enjoyed it. Spent a lot of time around the rink watching my brother when I was 3, 4, 5 years old. And I also played football and baseball too. So I kind of had a
Quick
whole lot
quick
going
shout out
on.
to multi-sport athletes. I love that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, no, young kids out there, I'd recommend play as many sports as you can for as long as you can. Become most athletic and pick the one you like from there.
For
But
sure.
I ended up going with hockey. I started playing in Glenview with the Stars. Played with the Blues for a bit before I made my way to AAA. I played for TI 2A before I went to Culver Academy for a year and a half. Didn't really work out there, so I came back home and played for the Mission. Won a national championship and headed off to juniors in college.
No way. That's funny. When you and I met, and even when we were hanging out with Zarnecki, I didn't know that. So you won a national championship with, was it, who was it you said?
Yeah, my U16 Mission team, we won it, and I think it was 2017 or 2018. Second
Okay.
year U16.
Where was that at? The tournament?
Oh, Philadelphia.
Philly?
Yeah, Philly or Pittsburgh. I can't remember. I think it was Philly though.
Okay. But just a tough area where they're known just for grinding it out, and you guys grinded out a national championship. That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a tight one in the final. It was us and Team Wisconsin. I think we came up 2 or 3-1. It was a close game.
Okay. I mean, those two teams are pretty close together. Like, did you guys play them throughout the season, and was it always like a battle?
Yeah, so we actually lost in the regional final. So regionals is obviously Illinois, Missouri, Wisconsin, and I believe it's Nebraska. And we lost in the regional finals to Team Wisconsin, and we lost them a couple more times throughout the year. We went into the tournament and we got a bid, obviously, because we didn't win the region, but they gave us the number one seed over Team Wisconsin, which was a
No
bit
way.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just felt like everything laid out so perfectly. And I just kind of knew, I think everyone knew we were going to win it.
Yeah. You had a good group, and I don't know, whatever happens during like a specific game, right? Especially in postseason, like anything could happen really, right? So that's cool that everybody knew and gave you the bid, and you guys ended up taking that advantage of that and winning. So that's cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was a great experience. So.
yeah. So which year was your U15 year? Because I know like based on the last episode we did with Sharpie, like we were talking about how big that U15 years was. So can you talk about um, where you were for that one?
So actually, when I was playing youth hockey, there wasn't U15. It was just U14, and then it would be so my year would have been 2000s and 2001s, which I'm a 2001. And then the
Okay.
next year it's 01 and 2000 or 2002s. So technically my U15 year, I spent half of it at Culver, went back and played for Mission with a lot of my close friends. And that was like USHL draft, OHL draft that season.
Okay.
So it was a big one. Ended up getting drafted by Omaha, 4th overall. Never played a game there though, actually. But
No way they drafted you. And then
yeah, they
did you
drafted
get
me in
there?
no, like I was planned on playing U16 the next year anyways with Mission, and I ended up getting traded in like September or something. It was wild.
Okay, so you were traded in September. So the season, like, did it just start or hadn't started yet for you, your
So
U16?
yeah, no, that year was my second year U16. We already started. I was playing real well, doing good. Team was unreal, and just got like a call one day. He's like, "Hey, like we're gonna move you, and this wasn't you. This is just like we need a defenseman who's gonna play you right now." And said, "Oh, you're going to Muskegon." So
Okay. And do as a 16-year-old, right? Like, that's I don't know, it depends, right? How used to like taking constructive criticism or like bad news like that was. Like, what was your first like reaction to it? Were you pretty bummed or were you like, oh, whatever?
honestly, Omaha is great in the USHL. Great rank, great organization. I was excited. It was closer to home than Muskegon. It's only 3 hours from Chicago, and I didn't have any games in the league, so I was just like, all right, like this is all right, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to Muskegon. Yeah, what was your like first experience like? How was the first season for you?
Oh, the first season USHL was a tough one for me. I started off really well, and then I actually got hit in the face with a puck. My jaw was like out to here. It was crazy.
No way.
Tried playing the next game, and the trainer's like, "We're just gonna like let you sit this one out. Like if that thing gets hit again, they don't want to break it or anything like that." So sat out. I think it was a Saturday night. Didn't play, and then from there on out, it was kind of like we were the best team in the league that year. So it was like I'd play some games and get scratched the others. I think I like, might have got scratched for like 15 games in the regular season. I think
Everybody
we
was
played
competing
this.
for ice time. Like, it was a really
Yeah,
good
and
group.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was like one of the youngest guys on the team too, and like it was tough. We had older defensemen, but it was overall like a really good experience. Like the coaches worked with me on the side, skill development and just stuff like that on the days I was scratched and wasn't playing, and kind of just stuck with it. Um, it
Anybody
was
you
a
want
good
to shout out there?
experience. Uh,
Like while you were there?
one of my close friends still is Igor Afanasyev. He's playing with the Milwaukee Admirals now. He's from Russia, played in Detroit though, so he's pretty Americanized, and he's the man. We were tight there. There's a couple other guys. Alex Gaffney, I was pretty close with. He's at Harvard now, so play him quite a bit.
Yeah, nice. Um, who was the first guy you mentioned? I might have seen him play if he's on the Admirals right now. Took my team to like I also coach for the Naperville Sabres. Shout out to them. Took them to a Wolves game, and I think that's who they were playing last Sunday.
Yeah, Igor Afanasyev. He after Muskegon, he was drafted second rounder. Could have been a first rounder. Signed, played up in Windsor for a year. Then it was COVID year, obviously. Went back over to Russia, played in the KHL for I believe St. Petersburg, and now he's been in Milwaukee for 2 years. But
Okay, nice. So for you personally, it sounds like ups and downs. Going back to like Muskegon, by the way, like ups and downs, and you grinded it out. But you said maybe like a relatively tough year for you. How did the team do, and what did you do like after? Like, what was your next step after Muskegon?
team did really well. Like we went to Eastern Conference Final, played the Steel, and lost. And those are 5 game series. I believe we lost in 4 in OT, just like a heartbreaker. But we were number one atop the standings, pretty much us and Tri City from the other conference the whole year, and like thought that we were going to go to the final. And obviously things didn't work out the way we wanted to in playoffs. But after that, I vividly remember I got home. I think we finished like May 1st. I got home May 3rd, and literally 5 minutes within walking in the door of my house, the head coach is calling me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, here we go. And he's like, hey, like, we're gonna move you to Waterloo. I was like, all right. He's like, yeah, like we just needed some draft picks because it was drafted in USHL.
Okay.
So I got on the phone with the Waterloo guys. They were really excited to have me, and they made the move for me. Obviously, they had some other Chicago guys there that said some good things about me, and that's where I ended up for the next 2 years.
Okay. Those guys that you're talking about, were they close in age, and were they guys like you would train with in the summer and stuff?
Yeah, so Wyatt Shingolfi, he's at Western Michigan now. Me and him won nationals together on
Nice.
mission. So he had a big say there.
So it wasn't like you were walking into the locker room cold either. Like you knew a couple of guys, so that probably felt good too, huh? Made you comfortable.
Yeah, no, I knew a couple guys for sure, and it was different though. When I got to Waterloo, I was like, "Wow, this is a different environment." Like I went to main camp, still had like my Muskegon stickers on my helmet, and equipment manager and our like physical trainer like came up. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What?" He's like,
Get
Take
off
those
the ice.
stickers." He's like, "You're
Yeah.
not playing for Muskegon anymore, but like take those stickers off." And Waterloo was just like a great experience. It's a very pro style environment, and they spend a lot of time on making you like the best people, best players they possibly can. It's a hard environment to play in, but it's one that helps you in the future. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, for sure. Makes you kind of grow up and be a little bit more mature, I guess, like have some more responsibility.
Absolutely. Like it was like, team warm up as a team before practice, team cool down after practice type of place where it's like, hey, you're going to learn how to do it all right here, right now.
Yeah.
And you're expected to do it. And if you didn't do it, there's an assault bike waiting down in the locker room. So
Hop on it.
yeah, pretty much. And it was a good time there though. I'm really thankful for the 2 years there. I learned a lot, and there was a lot of adversity there, but I enjoyed it at the end of the day and made some really good friends.
Good, man. Do you want to talk about like I like talking about that too, because right, everybody has time to time dealing with adversity and battling those types of things. Do you want to talk about that a little bit and what you mean? Like, was it for you personally or the team?
Um, I mean, first year our team, another year, I was on the best team in the league. Uh, Definitely thought I really believed that we were going to win the Clark Cup that year, and then got called in the locker room one day. Hey guys, season's on hold, COVID, and
Oh my God. I didn't
that was
I
that
had
year.
three prospects up and I didn't even realize that. Was that
Yeah, so I think we got 48 games in that year.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was like maybe February.
Okay.
But initially when I went in there, thought I don't want to say I thought I was going to be the man, but I did at the same time. And
Yeah.
I was in for a rude awakening when I got there, to be completely honest. And coach was really tough on me, trying to push me, and like it was just a different environment. And like the little things are what mattered there. Like he
Yeah.
says, coaches say you go around this tire, like you better
You
go
better
around the
make
tire
sure. Yeah.
and not cut it. If they say you don't stick handle before making passes, like better not do it type of place. So that took a while for me to learn that.
Yeah.
But once I did, I found myself to be a bit more successful in my second year for sure. But it was tough. It was frustrating. There was definitely moments when I quite honestly didn't want to be there, and it took a lot to get through. But at the end of the day, I think it made me a better player, and it's definitely helped me in college.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? And it's awesome you got to experience it then too, and like see it from early on. I'm sure it sounds like it came from maybe a different experience where things might have been a little bit more loose, where somebody just wants to go out and play and worry about other things. Where the guy in Waterloo might have been like attention to detail was his thing and harping on that. So it's like a big adjustment, and for you to like saying, "Oh, you thought you were going to be the man." I'm sure there's a lot of other people going through that too. But there's times where I don't know, you need confidence. Like don't ever lose confidence, but there's times where you need to be like humble too and kind of like learn as you go type thing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And like Muskegon, it was much more, make plays, use slip passes, stuff like that. And I got to Waterloo, and it's like, hey, rim the puck, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone plays different styles, and the West and the USHL, Muskegon's in the East, Waterloo's in the West. It's much harder game, more hitting, faster. So that's how we played, and we played on a rink that was bigger than Olympic too. So
Really?
oh, it was
It
huge.
was massive.
So like cross corner dumps is like actually a possession play in that rink. Like
You
so
gotta
is
rip it.
rimming the puck's the same thing. So like I had to learn that, and that took me time, obviously.
Yeah, learning the speed of the like boards and how like just the touch on the puck kind of thing.
Yeah, everything. Just like the whole style was different than what I was used to. It was instead of looking for the D to D hinge, it was D to D right up type of play. Where I was used to skate hinge. It was
Yeah.
D to D right up, rim the puck. Get it out as quick as possible, even if it's off the glass.
Yeah. Good. Well, it's awesome too, like talking about how you were able to like adapt and adjust. Like, they kept you around for, there was that COVID year, and you came back and, still played a ton of games. So I'm sure you were able to make the adjustments and do the right thing. So kudos to you on that. So that was, you played 2 years there. That was your end of juniors. During what time, like, did you commit to Colgate?
So I committed to Colgate in November of my third year, so my second year in Waterloo.
Okay.
Um, it's right before Thanksgiving, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, what was the recruiting process like for you for there? How did that all come about for you?
Um, Honestly, like as a family, me and my dad and brother decided like it would be best for me to play 3 years, even before I was in the league. So early on, when I was in Muskegon, I had a lot of schools knocking, like, "Hey, do you want to maybe come in next year or the year after?" type of thing. And my dad and myself said, "I'm not committing anytime soon." Like obviously, college hockey, there's coaching changes, there's commitments, stuff like that gets in the way of like the development process. So I waited it out, and Colgate called me. I was actually in Florida in August before my last year of juniors, and Colgate coaches reached out, and one of them was my national camp coach,
Oh,
national like
nice.
camp.
Yeah,
He was one
yeah.
of my coaches there. He went from Niagara to Colgate, and he reached out and kind of started the recruiting process there. And so I mean, 3 months later, I ended up committing there. It was tough though because New York State, they had laws with COVID, so I couldn't even go see the campus. Nothing like it was crazy. But I was picking between there and Wisconsin. Those were the final two for me.
Okay,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so I ended up going to Colgate. Love it.
Um, yeah, that's awesome. But also I'm on like elite prospects, so looking up, you went to, did you go to national camp your 15, 16, 17 year?
Yes.
What was your experiences like there for that?
Um, there's a whole process with that. So you got to make it through your state camp and then your regional camp, and then you go to national camp. And
Okay.
I always thought it was a really good experience, and you're playing around a lot of really good players. But the problem with it was like it's summer hockey
Okay.
because it happens in the
So
middle of summer.
yeah. So not, yeah, it's hard to like turn the gears. Like you just went through a whole season of like being dialed in, given like 100%. So what did you have like a couple weeks off after the season and then you went into camp or what?
I mean, like the youth season ends in what, April, early April,
Yeah.
right? And then national camps in July or June. So it's like you're
Yeah.
off for like 2 months. You haven't played games, and then you get thrown into a camp. You practice once, and you have a game. You know, so
Yeah.
it's like it's very much like summer hockey, if that makes any sense. And like, there's players like obviously the 16 and 17 year. There's like a Five Nations tournament, and there's the Holinka tournament. There's guys that were on those Five Nations and Holinka teams that aren't even playing hockey anymore. As crazy as
Wow.
that sounds. So like
Yeah.
for me, like it was great experience to be at national camp, playing for all these colleges, junior teams and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like that camp's not make or break or on anything. My brother didn't make a national camp, and he ended up playing for the national development program. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Um, I met you through Daniel too. And I really don't know anything about your brother. What is he up to? Brought him up a couple times. Where's he playing? Um, what's his what's his
Yeah.
background?
So I'll go back a bit because obviously he was him and my dad are the two reasons I started playing hockey. So my brother played for the Flyers in Skokie, Glenview Stars. Uh, Went AAA, played for TI, and then ended up going and playing at Culver Academy. So that's how I ended up there.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I just wanted to kind of like I love that
Yeah.
place, wanted to follow him. It didn't end up working out as well there for me as it did for him. So then after Culver, he committed to Miami while he was still at Culver actually, and then made the national team. Was the captain there in his U18 season. Went to Miami for 4 years and spent some time. Now he's AHL, NHL, like really on the fringe of it.
Okay.
He was
Man.
in Minnesota, so he played in Iowa. Then he was in Montreal last year, played with the Laval Rocket, and now he's with Philadelphia. So he's in Lehigh Valley.
Nice. Well, thanks for not saying, hey, Sarge, you should probably do your homework before you have somebody on. So uh appreciate that. No, but that's cool. I mean, it sounds like was you lean on him a lot and your dad during certain situations where you're coming into adversity. You're like, what do I do? They kind of help you out a little bit.
Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's just keep your head up and work hard. It's the answer to
Yeah.
everything. It really is. Like as cliche as that sounds, you know, there's always an opportunity to get better, even if you're in the worst possible situation. And like I promise, like you'll come out of it one way or another. And you'll be thankful for it, whether it's hockey ends up working out or you'll learn something more important in life from a situation. Um, Something that like I always think about is like you got to be like a duck. Like they go underwater, but they pop right back up.
There you go. I
It's
never
it's
heard
a
that
big
one
one.
before.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad says that one a lot.
Okay.
So
Man,
whether it's
that's
like a couple bad games or a bad whole season, like you're gonna be better eventually.
yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. That's what we call a soundbite. That's you're a beauty. I don't care what everybody else says about you. What to say. So finish your junior stint. Before we move on to college, what was like, talked about some maybe adversity and stuff like that. What was your biggest like victory, like personal victory that you're like, man, felt awesome about that?
In juniors,
Yeah.
oh, honestly, getting that commitment was great. Like, it was
Okay.
awesome. Um, Wisconsin was obviously there, but these Colgate guys, like, yeah, I appreciate them so much and what they've done for me, and they truly believed in me, and like they knew the player I was, even though I wasn't doing that in juniors. If that made any sense. And
No.
they
Yes.
said everything's going to be fine. Just get through your career in Waterloo and Muskegon, and everything's going to work out. You're going to come here, and it's going to be different. And I trusted them, and they trusted me, and so far it's been awesome at Colgate, and they've been with me the whole way. So I can't thank those coaches and that program enough, honestly.
That's awesome. Um, Good shout out for them for sure. And it sounds like, let me know if I'm like off on this too, but there's times where players, right, are playing for coaches where you might have to adjust the way you play and like not typically the way you like to play. And so it's cool that they had the foresight of like, hey, we know that you're capable of this, but based on where you're playing, you might have to change up that style. So, it's cool that they were able to kind of see through that.
Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. And their like recruiting statement, they show video of you playing. It's a cool thing at Colgate. No other school did this actually.
That's
And it was
sick.
funny. It was funny because they pulled
Just
up clips.
turnovers after turnovers. No,
Yeah,
I'm
pizza after pizza. They pulled up clips from my time in Muskegon, actually. None from Waterloo, except for like a couple defensive plays, but mostly in Muskegon when I had the puck, and they're like, "This is how we play at Colgate." And we're like, "We understand the situation you're in now and your role in Waterloo, and that's okay. But you're capable of doing this, obviously, as you show. So you're going to come to Colgate and have to do this, that type of thing." But the college coaches understood what my role was in Waterloo, and they said, "You're fine. Just keep doing what you're doing," type of thing.
Yeah,
Obviously, yeah, you're gonna have to adapt to roles wherever you go. Like realistically, there's first round picks in the NHL that get stuck on the third and fourth line. Those guys
yeah,
are crazy skilled. But those guys, as you get older, the leagues get better, and it's harder. You got to find a way to make it, right?
yeah. Good example, and somebody who came to Chicago and now has like a nice training facility up here near Park Ridge. Ben Eager, I think he was like a really high draft pick, but ended up putting himself more into like that, just having to find a different role for himself where, he had to be I want to say a tough guy, but like a grinder where you're making hard plays, you're playing hockey the hard way as opposed to like puck always on your stick, being more offensive, that type of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, like at some point, it's just about your reliability. The coaches want to know when you're on the ice, you're going to do the right thing.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're in a situation like that.
Dude, that's really cool. That's funny that they pulled up videos of you. I'm sure you was that a little tire pump? You're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So now you're at Colgate. How's it been so far? I don't know. You have the floor. Take it.
Oh, it's been great. I love that place. It's awesome. Just built 5-6 years ago. They just built a new $50 million rink on campus. It's a great rink.
Yeah, it's like top of state of the art, like sick.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Ice is unbelievable. School's really tough there, I will say. It's almost Ivy League, so that can be a bit challenging, but
yeah,
teammates are amazing. Campus is amazing. Culture, it's like a lot of fun. So
yeah. Besides, what was I was gonna say? What are you studying?
I was doing econ. So,
Okay.
And then that didn't work out too well.
It's just tough, yeah.
Political science now.
Okay.
It's kind of like a mix of econ and law, but
yeah,
and government, I guess.
Is that going way better? Like you're more engaged with it?
Yeah, it definitely is a bit easier too. Less math, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The less you got to worry about it, the more time you get to focus on hockey and working out.
Yeah, that was really like my main thinking behind it was like, I got 4 years to do this. I'm going to put all my effort into what I love, and I'll get by and do well in school, A's and B's.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we were just talking about it, and I kind of changed subjects to go to Colgate, but I want to go back and talk about you mentioned like the style of player that you are, whatever, and based on doing the camp with you, I can feel like you rip the puck. So I feel like having the puck on your stick is a little bit, more your cup of tea. But yeah, talk about like your style of play, stuff like that.
I would say just very two-way, really good skater, good IQ, and just reliable. Got a pretty heavy shot, so I like to use that a lot. Yeah, I mean, NHL comparable, like my favorite player to watch is probably Torrey Krug.
Okay.
So that's who I try to mimic my game after the most.
Yeah. That's awesome. Always love that clip when he is battling in front of the net.
Yeah.
I think I'm talking about in playoffs, and then goes down the other end, barrels whoever that was.
Yeah, that was Perron.
Let's see. What else do I want to ask you about? I guess, are you looking past no, I shouldn't ask that because, I know you're focused on taking a little break right now and then towards the end of the season. I was looking at where are you guys at right now in the ECAC? Are you third?
Yeah, we're in third place, which is where you want to be.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know how many games you guys have left?
I think we played 12 or
Okay.
10 in conference, so we got 12 more. It's 22. In 22 in conference regular season, and then so there's 12 teams in our league, obviously. So top 4 get a bye the first round, and then you reseed, play the second round, and then final 4 go to Lake Placid for the conference tournament there. So we actually made it there last year, which was a great experience.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. How'd you guys do?
We were in a tight one with Quinnipiac. They were number 1 in the country for quite some time last year. Lost 3-1. Hit like 4 or 5 posts. It was crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
So just trying to look up, your guys' roster right now. Who's, God, such a handsome picture. That's great. Who is top scorers? stuff like that. Who's your D partner, by the way?
Anthony Stark,
Okay.
number 3.
Big Beauty.
Yeah, he's the man.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the man. Top scorers though, Alex Young, Matt Verboon, Alex DePaulo, Ross Mitten, Colin Young. They're all sitting at like just around a point a game, some a little bit higher than others. But those are forwards that really turn it on for us. Verboon's got a really good shot on the power play. Nice one-timer. Mitten shoots the puck hard. Alex Young shoots the puck hard, but all really good players. Playmaking ability is really high from all of them. So
Say. So I guess just looking past, I'll kind of wrap this up too, give you some time back to go to sunny Florida and hang out.
you're good.
What like everybody's goal is to make the NHL, right? But like, what are you focusing on now to like, get to where you want to be?
Just taking it as slow as possible and enjoying every single day, quite honestly. You never know what can happen. One day, knock on wood, you might not be able to play hockey anymore. So, just enjoy it, put 100% effort into it every single day and, have fun, make jokes around the rink, have a good time around the guys, and whatever happens, happens. And that's kind of how I've gone about it for the past year and a half at Colgate. And I think it's really helped me. And I think it's changed me as a player in an aspect where like I'm having more fun. So I'm having the ability to play better. But at the same time, I'm taking it very seriously and being very hard on myself with it. So my thing's just day by day. Don't look past the next day, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you described that really well, right? Like there's times to be serious and like dial in and focus up. Then there's times where like you need to blow off some steam, be loose. Like I'm sure are you the jester in the locker room or what?
One of
Huh?
absolutely one of them. Yeah.
There you go. Nice. Just keeping the boys light. So that's awesome. Um, yeah, thanks for doing this. Is there anything else that you like wanted to touch on that I might not ask? I know we kind of went all over the place from time to time, but
No, I mean, I know you wrote the like, what's the Italian citizenship thing?
oh
Also,
yeah,
sent that
thank
to me.
you. I totally missed
Yeah,
that one.
so me and my brother and mom, we all have our citizenships over there. Got it actually solely for the purpose of hockey. My grandma was born in Italy, raised there before she moved to Chicago. So, just like hopefully one day have the opportunity to play over there. I think it'd be a cool experience. They have the Olympics in 26. So that would be another cool experience. I'm not sure what the rules are on that though, but just having options, just making my dream last as long as possible. And I think it'd ultimately be really cool to go and spend some time over there, even if it's a year over there.
Yeah,
But
that'd be sick. My brother like actually got the chance when he was in college to play for there's like collegiate Team USA, and they had the games in Trentino, Italy, and like I couldn't make it there, but like my mom and my sister went, and it was actually really cool. Like somebody he met through, he went to camp a couple times with the Indiana Ice, and there was like this Italian kid that we ended up, how it goes, right? Like sometimes you go to these camps and you just meet random people in the hockey world that like so big, but you meet everybody and you start making like different friendships. So he ended up one of the games was USA versus Italy, and so they got to like line up against each other. So that was pretty sick.
yeah, no, that's awesome. I think it would just be a really cool experience just to go play there.
Yeah,
It's
crush
not
some good
not
food and hang out and
yeah.
play some
I mean,
hockey.
it's not too often. Like whether it be in 2 years when I'm done at Colgate or 10, who knows? But it's not often you just get to go live a year in Europe, Italy, France, wherever it may be. And just have fun, play hockey, travel.
Yeah, for sure. Um, that's part of like what hockey gives you too, right? The chance to just go see different stuff, travel. So that's a really cool experience. Just see if there's anything else, but no, seriously, I appreciate it. You crushed this interview. Thank you for doing that and quick on the spot too, especially while you're on vacation in Florida. So what I will say is wish you the best of luck, like finishing up this year, and like moving forward. You're dude, awesome dude, and know you're working really hard. So keep at it, and I'll see you around the rink.
Yeah, see you back in Chicago. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, see you, big guy.
See ya.